triple cuts out on you. For the back, you gon' do me fat. Don't you gon' take my cut. Don't you gon' XP at me. Don't you wanna back. Don't you gon' do me like that. And I'm gonna get back. You don't wrong. So wrong. You don't wrong. So wrong. Don't you gon' XP at. And I'm gonna get back. You don't wrong. So wrong. So wrong.
That's how you drink.
144 back again. Run it back. Yeah. It's time to lead the enemy desolate. I'm heaven sent. These niggas just on some extra shit, and I ain't impressed with it. Could you kick that bullshit to the left of me? Hey, look, you can't deny this excellence. I use this mic like weaponry, and I've been seeking more clarity. Right now, I'm ready as I'll ever be, rugged as I ever been. The devil knocking at my door, I'ma let him in. Cause I'm a worthy adversary. Pour them liqueur laced with rosemary. It's time to grind, ain't no time to tarry. Take one of mine, get your soul carried. I gotta worry, plus these niggas full of estrogen. They fake you, they false. Gotta be bold so end up in the real issue. Fuck with my brethren, I deal with you. Yeah. Look, it's getting real official. Seeing how the bitches can crush you and how they still twist you. It'll hit you, they feel the tissue. Them others weak, my brothers been sent to the deep. So tell me, how can I turn the other cheek while this wicked world try to smother me? Something gotta shake, I'm gonna cry it out. Time to gird up my loins and ride out. In my soul, I feel devastation. In my eyes, I see desolation. At my door, death is waiting. But I don't want to see no more desolation. I said, I don't want to see no more. Hey, in my soul, I feel devastation. In my eyes, I see desolation. At my door, death is waiting. But I don't want to see no more desolation. But I don't want to see no more.
Yeah, I see. That's good. Wow.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Shalom, what's going on, Israel? Officer Kawan Palat. General Kobalamov couldn't be here today. So we gonna keep riding, we gonna keep rolling. You know how we do. You know how we do with this history, man. We gonna go into it deep tonight, man. Look here.
Yeah, that's
Go out. Look, we gonna go ahead and get it on, man. Look, this coronavirus, man. This virus, man. which is now a pandemic, is a lot more dangerous than they're really talking about, man. And look, our community itself is vulnerable because of the people that we allow to do business and inhabit our communities. It makes us extremely vulnerable. Look, we are the children of God. We are the true Jew of the Bible. You understand? And in the Isupk, we are absolutely covered by the Most High. But we want to make sure that everybody knows this danger that's coming down, man, and that's going around out here, man. This is real. And because we allow all of these other people to sojourn with us, what they call them, the sojourner, the stranger, don't even know what it means in the Bible, don't even understand the concept. But that sojourner with that virus, you want them around you now? We're all the fake Israelites that's talking about the stranger. You understand? And the Gentile. You want them around you now? You want the Wuhan, the Chinese Wuhan inhabitants around you now? See, because the Isupk been saying this since 1969. To get these heathens out of our neighborhoods and stop allowing them to sojourn with us. Because the only strangers that should be sojourning with us are our family, our blood, our flesh, our bone. This is what the Bible is talking about when it talks about strangers. That Israelite that's coming down from France, coming down from the UK, coming down from Jamaica, coming down from from Mexico, Honduras, and Guatemala. These are the strangers. These are the Gentiles that can come among us and sojourn with us. I bet you wouldn't mind having a Guatemalan in your house now. Or would you still rather have a Chinese in your house now? I mean, you can't be that brainwashed, right? Look, we didn't want to separate. Now the Lord gonna make us separate. And you think this never happened before? I'll show you this happened before. And I show you this, that the Lord will find the Lord's prophecies written in this book will always come true, brother. They will always come true. And the doctrine and philosophy and the truth that the Isupk has been saying since 1969 is coming into fruition. It's going to get so bad that we can't even go in our streets. That's going to happen. That is chronicled in the Bible. These people that are in our neighborhood, these habitation of strangers that are in our neighborhood, the Lord going to make us separate from them. It wasn't enough that the Moabites, the Chinese, were beating our women in their stores, giving us substandard products, making us pay exorbitant prices, wouldn't let us go for a dime. We didn't want to separate on our own terms. So the Most High is going to do it. Equality is a myth. It's a catch-22. And really, if you think of, now that I think about it, it's really idiotic to think that in a race-based society, you could have equality. That's like a dog chasing his tail. Never gonna catch that tail. You can have how many civil rights marches you wanna have. You understand? You can have as many Martin Luther Kings as possible. It's never going to happen. Somebody got to be on the top. Somebody's going to call all the shots. And it is race-based. It's not based upon a political party. It's not based upon a religion. It's not based upon an empire. It's always going to be based upon your blood and your flesh. That's just the way it is. And in every empire, it was that way. Back in Rome, Rome encompassed many different nationalities of people. We were in Rome. The Africans were in Rome. The
Greeks.
All the Europeans, includes the Greeks and the Italians. The Italians were the one on top. They were the ones on top. They were the ones running things in the Roman Empire. Arabs were in the Roman Empire. It encompassed and picked up a lot of different nationalities. But the Edomites were always on top. They always called the shots. They always exploited everybody else. If you were a province of Rome, you had to come fight for Rome against Rome's enemies. Just like a Negro has to go get conscripted or drafted in the army or volunteers and has to fight the enemies of white America. You can't say you fighting for your people because we get none of the spoils. We're the ones exploited and oppressed. You understand? Stop and frisk is real. Mass incarceration, that's real. Crack in the communities is real. Redlining is real. Murdering unarmed black men is real. Black men going to prison, getting 15% more time is real. 10% of the black community, which never committed a crime, which were completely innocent of the crimes that they were arrested and put in prison for, that's real. Story after story, statistic after statistic. These are exploitation tactics to always keep you working for something that you never will obtain. And it's in the Bible, man. It's in the Bible. And we won't go into the history of it. Let's get the Maccabees, man, real quick. Let's get, hold on, First Maccabees. First Maccabees 1:38. I know I just said it.
Is it in your bag?
Right here. Give me First Maccabees 1:30.
138.
Yeah, keep it up there.
Got it?
Yeah.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 38. insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them.
The inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them. Who is them? Keep reading.
Whereupon the city was made an inhabitant of strangers.
City was made an inhabitants of strangers. Look, whenever we allow other races of people to inhabit our communities, our spaces, it ceases to be a community, especially when we allow them to benefit and to profit off of our labor. And we're going to say it plainly and clear so everybody can understand. Look, share it out to Facebook.
Salakia, sir, that wouldn't connect.
Just hitting that share button down the bottom, the arrow.
Let me try that. Salakia, sir, let me try it.
Yeah, that's what. If you copy and paste the title, if you copy the title, you can just hit that share button, paste the title in there, and then you're good to go. You know what I mean? But look, our communities become a habitation of strangers, man. So I'm a little older, and when I was younger, we never saw other races of people in our neighborhoods, man. We never saw that. We never experienced that. Families of different people in other races. Black people own the businesses and the stores in black neighborhoods. And see, and in that way, we were able to profit and benefit off of one another. Because, of course, the racist laws of America are always going to tear us up, especially when a brother got to go to jail for something menial, and now he's got a record and he can't get a job in the private sector. He could always go to his brother who owned the barber shop in the food market, the mini mart, in the clothing stores, and say, you know, brother, I need a job. You understand that the brother is not a criminal. He made a mistake. Or maybe the brother is just innocent altogether. But you would know that because the brother made a mistake at a young age, that he didn't deserve to be excommunicated from society and be unable to employ himself and be unemployable. How is he going to make a living for himself and his family? He's no longer an asset to his family. He's now a liability because he can't even make a living for himself, let alone the family he's making. But this is what white society was meant to do. Because it's not about equality, it's not about a fair shot or fair business practices. It's always been about exploitation and oppression. If white supremacy is not allowed to benefit off of black labor, they start to murder. When we had segregation and we had our own cities, and we had our own business models, and we were able to employ each other without having to be exploited by white folks, without working on a job where you're paying a white guy $6 or $7 an hour, and you paying a brother $2 an hour. We had our own where they couldn't exploit us to that degree. If we still had our own, they would have never been able to push crack and heroin to us, not to that degree, never to that degree, or mass incarcerate us to that degree. because we could have protected each other from that oppression. See, but they weren't able to fully exploit us and benefit from us. So they started to murder us. I mean, you'll see it. You'll see it many times. Rosewood, the Isupk. We talk about it all the time. So I'm not going to go too deep in it. But the point is this: when left to our own devices, we're able to prosper without the intrusion and the violence of white supremacy. We brought out before about the real criminal. In the white community, they rape. White men rape white women at 5 times the percentage than black men do. So before a white person can talk about Bill Cosby or Kobe Bryant having a little deja vu with some white woman, why are you raping white women to the point, and I think it's something a little over 5,000 and some rapes a year of mainly white women. It's like a rape every hour. You're raping every half hour. It's only 365 days in the year, bro. You raping and terrorizing your own women, but you'll talk about Kobe Bryant.
Right.
We've always fought to get approval from white America. All right, back in the 40s, black men weren't allowed to fly planes. You couldn't fly planes in the military. You understand? You could not fly planes. You couldn't fly jets. Well, let's just take it to World War II, the mid-1940s. All right. Black men couldn't fly planes in combat because it was widely accepted that black men didn't have the necessary skills and coordination to properly operate a modern day fighter plane. So we had to prove to white America that we could fly planes, that we were human beings, that we had the eye-hand coordination to go into battle.
Right.
We had to prove to them, and so much so that they would exploit us in any kind of way. I mean, man, they would segregate the armies, make us clean latrines, and degrade us and oppress us in ways you couldn't even imagine in that military, man. But we had to have a stiff lip and prove that we were able to operate a modern day aircraft. Brother, not only did we do that, but we flew all across Germany, getting all kinds of kills, man, doing things that the white pilots could not even do. And a lot of them owe their lives to these black pilots in World War II. They covered it up for 60 years. I believe they had a red, the tail of the airplane was painted red to let you know it was black soldiers. Mm. on the front lines, fighting, tearing holes in Germany, man. And we were on the ground. We were pushing all the supply lines. They could have never won that war without us. And we kept those supply lines safe. But we had to prove to them that we could fly a plane. Not only did we prove it, we proved we were better than them at doing it.
Outclassed.
We were outclassing them in every sector. Come on, man. Of fighting, of strength. There's no one more stronger, especially mentally, than a black man. We don't come home crying and whining about we were in war and we saw people shot. We see that at home, man. You know, while some white guy's crying and whining and he wants to get paid for the rest of his life because his buddy got shot next to him. Man, look. The consensus, the entire 400 years that black people have been in America is to prove to white people that we can do something. And that's why it's always a black first. This the first black man to do this. This the first black man to do that. This the first black man to hold office. My question is, when are they going to prove to us that they are humane?
That's heavy.
I want some proof of the humanity of white supremacy because I haven't seen it. I've gone all through the history. I have not seen any proof of their humanity. They are human. I will not deny it. I will not argue that fact. It is a scientific fact. But I need proof of their humanity. After 400 years of slavery, barbarism, lynching, feeding us to animals, experiments, you know that they would go around to different slave plantations and operate on black women, absent any pain retardants, use cobbler tools to open up their vaginas and reset their skulls. This is how gynecology was formed. And goddamn, just about everything in this country was formed. And if you pick any word, just a word like picnic, formed from the horror that they do to black folks. Pick a Negro to hang. That's what picnic is, man. Most of their medical experiments, medical inventions were done by torturing black people, man. Now, I need some proof of humanity. I need proof of humanity, man. We should not give a damn what this white society thinks of us. We should not give a damn at all. And I always hear people talking about, that's why they hate us. That's why they do this. That's why they do this to us. They do that to us because they're hateful and they're inhumane. Does not matter what you do. Well, if you just calm down and do what the police say, they wouldn't shoot you. They wouldn't murder you. Then they walk in the brother's house and murder him sitting on his couch. Shoot a sister through her own window in her own yard. without even the opportunity to comply to anything. We in our hearts have been led to believe that we need white America or we need heathens in order to have anything. We do not. We proved it ourselves over and over again. The first black this, the first black that. Those are not achievements. Do you know why? I'll tell you why they're not achievements. Then we're going to get back into the Bible. Hold on. Is it an achievement that Michael Jordan is the most famous and explosive and dynamic basketball player on earth? Does that benefit black people? No, it does not. Do you know why? Because we're not able to take advantage of his talent. His come up does not mean our come up. If he was playing for a black owned team in a black stadium where I could have a vending license to sell snacks in his stadium as he was explosive, if I had the marketing tool, the manufacturing and the warehousing companies to warehouse his merchandise and to move it all around the country or all around the world, if we had those businesses that surrounded him, then and only then could we say that that's a come up for black people. In most cases, it always turns out like Gail and Oprah, where you get to a certain height and then you start to degrade black men. You now have a network, a channel that you could now refute the propaganda of white supremacy. And you could now change the narrative that black people must always prove something to white America. You have a network called OWN, $1 billion network. And you've taken that opportunity to degrade black men. Not to take those resources to uplift the black family. Not to take those resources and just open a credit union. Open a credit union that black people can pool their money in until they get paid. Take that money and put it towards the community. Nah. Oprah Winfrey owning a major network channel does not benefit black people. It doesn't. All the first blacks don't benefit the black community as a whole. And what the rich and powerful among us don't understand is that without your people, you're nothing. You're nothing. You have no protection. Let's get the rest of that scripture.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 38. Beginning in the middle.
You can start from the beginning.
Beginning at the beginning. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers.
What?
Made an habitation of strangers.
Made a habitation of strangers. That's modern day gentrification. These are other people coming into your community. And why? Are they coming into your community because they love you? Because they want to be with you? No. It's money. It's prosperity in the Black community. We just can't tap into it. But I promise you there's prosperity there. That's why they're there. Chinese people do not come because they want to be a part of your culture or a part of your life. They're not there because they love you. They're not there because they like you. In fact, they're there to rob you. They fully understand what they're doing. They're removing any prosperity that Black people could possibly have. They're monopolizing small and medium-sized businesses so Black people aren't able to possess them, to pool together our resources. White folks have been able to take small, medium, and large businesses and incorporate into business conglomeracy, man, into a dynasty, an empire of wealth never seen on earth before. And guess who was the engine behind that wealth? You, Black man. And guess what they do in return? Make your communities, our neighborhoods, our communities a habitation of strangers. There's no more Hippodrome movie theater for Black people. There's no more, what's the theater up in Harlem? The most famous one?
Apollo.
The Apollo. Black folks don't own the Apollo. BET, Black folks don't own BET. All right? The most famous, iconic Black buildings, properties have all been taken with no consideration. They would never do that to white Jewish people. They have monuments all over the country based on a war that wasn't even fought in the United States. Our tax money go towards their monuments. They got one hit right here in Baltimore, $6 million. But Black kids don't have jobs. Black people are 62% of the population in Baltimore and the poorest. You got billions of dollars coming out of the Black community every day, yet Black people are the poorest people in Baltimore. Why? Read it again.
Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers.
The city was made a habitation of strangers, man. That's Mama San, Papa San. Egg and cheese, 4-wheel fly, 4-wheeler fly. Hot dog? Salt, pepper, ketchup? Yeah, man.
You want soda with your order?
Hey, let me get that, man. Can I get that? Yeah, let me get that, man. I'm saying 2 cents short, man. No. When they get out.
Come back later. Come down. Too high.
Our communities are a habitation of strangers, man. And you never see this with any other community. You don't go to Chinatown and see Chinese people buying anything from Black people. You don't go to Chinatown and see Chinese people buying anything from Japanese people. You don't go to Chinatown and see Chinese people buying anything from Africans and other races of people. You just don't see that. They buy and sell in their own communities to their own people. They take our businesses and buy and sell to our people. And yet, we have not figured out that that's unfair business practices, that our businesses should be maintained. You don't see Chinese people owning expensive restaurants in Little Italy. Remember we went to Little Italy?
Yep.
And the lady got up and said, we take care of our own. The white Italian woman said, we take care of our own.
Yep.
But when the ISUPK say it, they want to snatch us, take the mic, do violence to us, say we uneducated.
We're racist.
We're racist. But the white Italian woman can get on national TV and say, we take care of our own. And we want the police in our community for us. What are you going to do for us? But black people can't say that. If you do, you're racist and you're wrong. But Little Italy, whose businesses have been maintained for a century, if the same family don't own the restaurants and the hardware stores and the markets, then some other Italian does.
Yep.
They have been maintained and they cannot go to other races of people. But in your community, black men, all those businesses that were held by black families, they were put out of business by the CDC, police harassment, taxes, racist business loans and loan considerations. It was a number of things why those businesses were taken. Chief among them, putting crack in our community. And with the level of stress and oppression, people turn to it. With the level of poverty, people begin to sell it. No one talks about reparations for black people who were victims of chemical warfare. Ronald Reagan admitted to putting crack in black communities. He admitted it. You can go on the internet and see it. He said, I must have known. He did it in a roundabout way. He said, I must have known what was happening. I'm on the top. I must have known. How are you bringing hundreds of metric tons of potent crack cocaine into the United States, in particular black neighborhoods, every day by the ton?
Right.
There is no private entity that could do that. You would have to have the express, you would have to have the okay from the not only the federal government, but it would have to be local as well. You would have to. There's no way you could move that type of quantity absent military airplanes and 18-wheelers, man. Companies had to be involved. This wasn't a couple of thugs from East Baltimore riding up New York and grabbing a couple bundles of morphine.
Right.
Morphine came in by the brick, by the metric ton. One man couldn't lift it. 10 men couldn't lift it. A tractor trailer couldn't lift it. to feed 1 day of addicts had to be measured by the metric ton. Oh, go ahead, sir.
And you're right, because I used to work for the port, and we had ships that
Yeah.
came in with that on there. We had one company who had weed stuck into the furniture
Yeah.
on the boat. That's how they got. That's why they used to steal all the bins, because the bins was out. They will run through the door, the gate with one good bin, all of them go out. 10 cars. That's a setup every day, because there's no way they can get out there that fast.
Right.
So that's when they put the TSA out on the port. But it still happened. Well, last year.
They're paying them off.
Yeah.
Look, Baltimore is a port city.
Yeah.
It is a port city. And it's reasonable, completely reasonable and logical to understand that all of that weight is coming through that port. And I can tell you something, man. When they bring it in, it's not even illegal. You gotta understand something. Drugs are not illegal until they enter into our hands. That's what we got. There's certain things about these people we don't understand, man, and how these laws are regulated, brother. When that dope is in the hand of the federal government, it is not illegal. Only when it gets in your hands, brother, is it illegal. And everybody benefits. They benefit when you buy the dope. They benefit when you sell the dope. They benefit when you go to jail. They benefit when you get the lawyer. They benefit when you get the gun. They benefit when you purchase the packaging to
Bag it up.
to pack the dope up. When you purchase the cut to cut the dope and the chemicals, they benefit. They benefit when you get your brains blew out. They clean it up. When they extract your lungs and your liver and your organs, you know, they can put a small hole is the size of a pin and extract your liver and your lungs and just fill you up with paper shreddings and newspaper. They benefit when you die. When they fix up your face, your twisted face, because your damn head done been shot and split in two. They benefit. They benefit when your mama buy the casket. They benefit from the bullet that the other brother purchased to blow your simple head off, man. They benefit. You understand? They benefit when they clean your blood up off the ground. They benefit. They got companies all around to benefit off of every little thing that we do. They benefit off of the iniquity or the sin of black people. But black people, we don't benefit off black people. We don't benefit off Michael Jordan. We don't have businesses structured around what he does and how his fame affects everything around him. We can't benefit from that. It doesn't benefit us in this place, man, to have a habitation of strangers in our neighborhood. I'm gonna get through this one damn scripture one day. Read it again, brother.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 38. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers,
Yeah, go ahead.
and became strange to those that were born in her.
Became strange for those that were born in her. You hear that? I was born in Cherry Hill.
Unrecognizable now.
I was born man, look, I was born in Baltimore, Belly Garrison, Park Heights, East Baltimore, West Baltimore, all over Baltimore. It is a habitation of strangers to me now. I can't understand it. It's never worked for me. I remember my community as a young man, and I would get box lunches in schools that came from the businesses roundabout because they cared about the children getting breakfast in the morning.
Yep.
It's not like that today. Nobody cares. Black people got to turn and beg the city to give them something because the people that's making all the money in these businesses off of black people would not give us a dime. Do not give a damn how the neighborhood look. Don't care if somebody got their brains blew out right there in their store. Don't care if brothers selling dope in their store. As long as they can sell the brothers the vials and the quinine bonita, they don't care. The little bags, where you think the bags come from? They put the dope in, man. Come from the Chinese stores. You think they give a damn? You in there hitting in the store. Move over in the corner so they don't see. Move over in the corner. Your 130 bundle a bag? Quinine bonita? They don't care, man. They know what you buying that quinine bonita for. The people who don't know, quinine bonita is something that they cut heroin with. It's something that you would get from the Chinese stores. And everything to bag it up and sell. To stamp it on there, whatever the name of the heroin was, the vial that you would get to put the crack in, they would supply all of this right there in their store. A lot of times if you pay them, they would let you bag it up in their stores. They would allow you to sell out of their stores. Why? Because they never cared anything about the neighborhood. It was always about extracting as much as they possibly could. This might be over some people's head, but you know, they ain't getting it. They ain't getting it. We got any questions online?
Sir.
That's what's up. That's what's up. A lot of people just go over their head. That's why, you know what I'm saying? It was me and you that had to go down to these town hall meetings, man, because we know what's been done to our neighborhood. You understand? We know the devices that they've deployed to destroy us. We understand stop and frisk. We understand the racist practices of zoning and redlining. You got a lecture coming up, right?
Yep.
When the lecture?
June 14th.
June the 14th. Madame gonna bring all of this out, man. Put it together, put it in perspective. And it's very important, man, to understand how we got in the situation that we're in. Because a lot of black folks, man, like to blame black people for this situation. But this was a business model to extract the maximum amount of profit out of the black community. And brother, the profit that they extracted from the black community allowed them to win the Cold War. We can bring that out if you want. Now, how that happened, Kawan? You going too damn far. You talking about how black people, how they gonna finance the Cold War between Russia and the United States of black people? How is that possible? Well, it's more than possible, brother. It's viable. Very viable.
Water bills, taxes, everything.
That and other things.
A lot
of understand? Yeah. What you think what you think the war on drugs was all about?
Exactly.
What you think crack was all about? It generated trillions. Russia has the landmass of about 3 to 5 United States. The time zones is 3 times the time zones. The landmass, look, they in the oil war right now. You understand? With China, with Saudi Arabia. That's how much oil they got over there. That's trapped up in all that permafrost over there, man. They got all kinds of natural resources because the land mass is so vast. We don't understand how vast it is. And not only did they control Russia, this was the USSR. They controlled countries and nations, Croatia, all the way down to France. From Russia all the way down to France. What was it, the Maginot Line? Look, check it. All of that wealth that they could generate down there in Russia because of that landmass and all these different amounts of people that they could put into production, it was just one problem with Russia. Russia don't have slaves. They don't have a people that they can exploit and don't have to care about their humanity, don't have to care about their rights. They can give them a powerful drug or narcotic and not care how it affects them and their community and their children. Any more in that scripture?
Khan, sir. And became strange to those that were born in her. And her own children left her.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Her own children. This is gentrification right here, man. This is gentrification right here. You know what's going to happen, man? You know what you're going to see, and we seeing it around Baltimore right now. You see bike lanes starting to pop up. You see white folks jogging and checking their pulse. You see Starbucks starting to show their head around, and the Walmarts and everything white people like. Everything white people love. You see the parks start getting clean. You know why? Because they're starting to invest in the community. That's a good thing, right? They're starting to push money in the community, invest, fix up the houses. That's the good thing, right? Not for black folks. You know why? Because we're never able to take advantage of all of those investments coming in, all the jobs that are created. By that, they're going to need construction. They're going to need managers. They're going to need healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs to take over the buildings and the houses that have been created by all the wealth and investment that's coming into the community. But this is the problem. That's going to raise the rent, and black people ain't going to be able to afford to live there or take advantage of any of the opportunities that have come thereof. So now, you in a black neighborhood, you didn't live there 20 years, you didn't pay rent for 20 years, and they tell you to get the hell out. All of your culture, your people, your neighborhood, gone. You see the white man jogging with his head up, hitting his wrist and checking his pulse, the pride in his heart, the vile anger towards you, because you shouldn't even be here. This is your neighborhood. You grew up in. You slaved and slaved and slaved over a hot stove. You understand? On a boat, crabbing, picking up trash, slaving. And they still ain't got nothing but the test for you. And in the whole 20 years you've been there, the real estate in your community has floundered. We don't grow any wealth. And then they take it from us and immediately grow wealth. And create 10 to 20 new millionaires, 30 to 40 to 50 new business owners. And it permeates through the white community and the families where they can take advantage of it and make money off of their people. While in the historic black neighborhoods of Baltimore, black people won't even be able to get a vendor's license. I promise you. They're going to do the same thing Giuliani did in New York. Take away all the business licenses. Then when it came back, it was underground, it was sketchy, nobody knew what to do, it was expensive. Black people couldn't get their hands on the vending licenses. They all went to strangers that inhabit our neighborhood. And you know what will happen to us? They'll move us to the next slum. We'll have to start over. You finish on that, bro?
What sir?
Time check.
8:13.
Let's keep it in the Bible then. You want to keep it in the Apocrypha?
It's up to you, sir. So are you.
Let's go to Ezra, man. Ezra 9 and 12.
First, second?
Ezra.
Oh, Ezra. Okay. Ezra.
Easy.
Ezra. Okay.
Yeah, man. That's how it is. And look, this is the thing that we gotta understand. We gotta stop doing what they want us to do. Voting is never going to make any difference. Do you know why? You want to know the truth? It's because the system depends upon the exploitation of black people. That's why. And they're never going to change that. Do you think a Democrat, a Republican, a white woman, a black man, whoever the hell it may be, who comes in as mayor, who seeks a political career, is going to change the distribution of wealth in Baltimore? Wouldn't even be able to. You think he's going to stop saying the problem isn't crime? That the problem is poverty? That the problem is choice? That most black people don't have a reasonable chance to have a choice between a criminal lifestyle and one of righteousness? I wouldn't even say righteousness, but a legal lifestyle. You have a school to prison pipeline that's real. That's not a lie. It's the truth. It's simply the truth. All right? When you go to prison, white America makes money. When you abort your child, white America makes money. Understand? When you die, white America makes money. It just is what it is. So if these investors are making money, the mayor isn't going to change that. Because if you did, you would quickly be out of office. You would quickly lose any powers, and you would understand who really runs the country, who really runs Baltimore. Nothing's going to change, no matter who is the mayor, no matter who is the president. Life as it is for black people is not going to change. Whether it's Donald Trump, Elizabeth Warren is out. She was annoying any goddamn. That woman was annoying. Whether it's Biden, who's an absolute racist, or Bernie, who's even more of a racist, it doesn't matter who the hell gets that presidency. They are not going to touch the money that white folks are getting from the exploitation of black people. Mass incarceration will not stop. They will not stop arresting innocent young black men. They won't stop murdering innocent young black men. They're going to talk about training. They're going to talk about crime, but they're never going to talk about the real crime statistics on who really is the criminal. White people commit more murders to white people than black people commit murders to black people. It's a fact. It is just a statistical fact. It's not racism. It's not being angry or bitter. It's a fact. White people murder more white people than black people murder black people. That's a fact. We brought it out, what, 2 classes ago?
2 classes ago.
You can call it what you want. Well, there's more of them and there's less of us. It is a fact. The people who murder the most are white people. That's just a statistical fact. That's all. Has nothing to do with racism or hatred. But the propaganda that is pushed, and the only propaganda that you know is that black people kill black people every day. So do white people. Black people are oppressed. And not only that, let me tell you something. Man. Less than 50% of people who murder black people are ever even caught. They don't investigate black murders. So to say that all the people that murdered black people are black is just ridiculous, man. You could be 10% off. You could be 20% off. Man, you got to look into the stats of who's the actual murderer, man. And not only that, when you look at murders, all the murders that cops do to unarmed black men, they kill an unarmed black man every hour. You just see the most, what do you call it? The ones that you see on TV are the high profile ones. You don't see the everyday white police officer that murders an unarmed black person. We're not privy to that everyday ongoing statistical fact that is not added to their murder rate. Freddie Gray is not added to their murder rate. Michael Brown is not added. Makai Gurley is not added. Sandra Bland is not added. So if you look at the murder rate of white people, is probably double or triple the number that it actually says it is. What was we at? Nehemiah?
Ezra.
Ezra? Go ahead, let's get that.
Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Now, therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons.
Give not your daughters unto their sons. When you have a habitation of strangers, and especially in this case, where you have the dominant race that has now opened the door of integration for the race that's on the bottom. Of course, now the race that's on the bottom wants to integrate with their daughters or marry their daughters. This is the problem. This is the problem. And this is what you got to understand. Stop listening to your disgusting fathead preacher that wants nothing more than to take your money. But listen to this scripture that this brother is about to read. That's how you get the truth from scripture. Because these scriptures were maintained for our learning. Like these scriptures should have been wiped out years ago. This is black supremacy. This chronicles the fall of white supremacy. If you know how to read it, they could have just destroyed this years ago, but the Most High made sure that we would have access to these records, man, so that we could learn. Now, don't give a damn about what your preacher is saying or what anybody else is saying. Listen to what the brother is reading. Read, brother.
Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Now, therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons.
Read them.
Nor seek their peace.
Nor what?
Nor seek their peace.
Look, we should never be worried about what they think about us. We should never be worried about if they think we could fly a plane or not, or if they think we could be president or not, or if they think we could run a city or not. We should be completely unconcerned with them. Why? Because they've never shown us humanity. They've never given us quarter. They've never given us mercy. They have always used the stick. They murdered us with impunity. They never held themselves accountable or anyone else accountable for murdering us in an inhumane ways in which they have done it, man. Feeding us the alligators, putting dope in our communities. That's the most vile and disgusting practices you could do against the people. And we've done what? Giving them centuries of wealth and prosperity. More than any other race of people on the earth, and still they have such vile contempt. Such blasphemy, brother. Such blasphemy. A crime that our people can't even see. Give me a time check, brother.
8:24, sir.
All right. If anybody don't got no questions, I'm gonna end it soon. But I was doing something else.
You want to finish off that Ezra?
Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, let's finish up Ezra real quick.
Nor seek their peace or their wealth forever.
Seek their wealth, man. Don't seek their wealth the way they do, man. Don't exploit people, man. Don't harm another man to get wealth. For instance, man.
That ye may be.
Hold on. For instance, what I was explaining is that don't harm another person to get wealth. This is not saying that you can't be wealthy and you can't be prosperous. What this is saying is don't do Ponzi schemes. Don't take the money of a rich old person. Don't do that. Because their mind is going bad, they might have forgotten this or that, and you get them to sign something or turn over life insurance policies. Don't seek wealth like them. Don't act like a white man. Don't do that. Don't join a gang. Don't be like Bugsy Siegels and Scarface. Don't do that. Be a black man. Don't seek wealth like they seek wealth, man. Don't be Ronald Reagan. Don't put a powerful narcotic into someone else's community to kill them and their children, to affect their children. Whatever happened to crack babies? What happened to crack babies, my thumb?
They the terrible parents today.
They the terrible parents today. Right. But was it or was it not? And you know I can ask you.
Right.
We come up around the same time.
Right.
I'm asking you, was it or was it not an epidemic of crack babies? Babies born underweight, babies that were fussy, babies that were dying, babies that were born early.
Stayed in the hospital for months.
Stayed in the hospital for months and months and months because they were addicted to crack, right?
Con, I don't want con.
The white man made billions of dollars off of crack babies. The amount of money that they generated from hospital stays was enormous. You understand me? The crack that they sold, that they pushed to these women, having them stay up all night, running. And the babies that did die, they sucked the organs out of them. Go ahead.
A lot of them babies, a lot of those crack babies are the ones being locked up today.
Exactly.
They're making money off of them.
Because they still making money off of them in and out of prison. This was a long-term investment and business plan of white supremacy. You got it, my thumb. You there. You there. See, you there with me. You understand? That was a long-term, profitable business investment. Good business.
Good business.
This is the business of white supremacy. The scriptures are saying, don't do business like they do business, man. Don't make the proficiency of your business the terrorism and barbarism of another people, man. And that's why I said they have to prove their humanity. Crack babies, you have to be inhumane to devise that. You know that mother ain't going to be able to resist that powerful narcotic. Even with the instincts of being a mother, of being a black mother, which were the strongest instincts on earth, that black mother will protect that baby with her life. You knew that this drug would overcome that natural instinct. So you created a business model. And for years to come, to deny these crack babies treatment, to push them through the criminal justice system, and to generate billions upon trillions of dollars generation after generation. That's a narcissistic, tyrannical bastard that would do that. And the Bible is saying, don't do that. Don't make your money that way. Read on.
That ye may be strong.
Ye may be what?
That ye may be strong.
Ye may be weak.
That ye may be strong.
Ye may be indecisive.
That ye may be
ye
strong.
May be strong, man. That ye may be strong. We are strong when we're not a habitation of strangers. We're strong by ourselves. We don't need white supremacy. We don't need them to be strong. The Lord is going to make that happen with this virus. He's going to make the nation split and dissolve on racial lines. Because on racial lines is the only real family. That's the way you find your family. Was that it on that?
Sir.
Go ahead.
And eat the good of the land.
Good night. You hear what the Lord is saying. You hear what the Lord has done. The Lord is saying, if you get these strangers out of your community, that you can live well. If the Chinese and the Arabs are no longer able to control the small and medium and large businesses in our neighborhoods, then we'll have to do it. We'll no longer need to work for white supremacy for wages that we know ain't right. We sitting here making 50 cents on the dollar that white folks are making. That same white man that's in the cubicle next to you. He's making twice as much money as you, even though you get paid the same damn thing. Man, that's it, man. I turned the class over to priest and officer for dumb Shikari. Was that it?
Sir.
Give me the rest of that.
And leave it for an inheritance to your children.
Good night. Leave it for our children. What would have happened if we left all of those businesses to our black children? None of those businesses went to our black children, even though we slaved and worked in those black businesses 20 and 30 years. They came in and snatched them and took them. Why? Because we couldn't maintain it because we was on crack. People stopped coming to buy black because they wanted to buy everything else. I leave as I came in truth. With that, I pass the class over to Precinct Officer Madam Carter.
Security announcements. We are the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 to 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. A tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, up and coming holy convocation. We have the slaughter of the lamb coming up on March the 15th. That's this Sunday coming up. All the brothers from all over will be there, so you should be there. Try to get there if you can. We have the Passover coming, April the 9th. Remind Akim and Aquafium to check on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for Isupk events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarves. And with that, class dismissed.